Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm your host, Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined by Tracy Grady.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And morning it is.
It is morning. 8 o'clock comes real fast.
You're laying in bed looking at that clock at 7:15. Yeah. It's like, do I get up and take a shower? Do I take the extra 15 minutes?
Well, now I used to take a shower, get all ready and stuff when our show was at 10. But now I just, I roll out of bed, I take a shower, and I don't put any makeup on or anything. Nope. I just throw on workout clothes because this is a workout for me.
This is a workout, just getting here at 8 o'clock before 8 o'clock.
And right now I live and work on the same street, so I have no excuse. But I do, give myself 5 minutes to go grab a coffee in the center of town. But yeah, in a few days, my little journey to work will be a little bit longer, about 3 minutes longer.
Oh, God.
Sam has already, so for everybody who has been following me in my journey, I am purchasing a home in Halifax. And Sam has already figured out that he could walk from his house with Mary to my house in 48 minutes. If you walk. It's like less than 2 miles or something.
Really?
Yeah. So, and then Sharon is right in the middle of the two of us.
Yep,
so, we're all going to get snowshoes.
Oh,
because they keep saying that it's going to be like a really snowy winter or whatever. So, we're all buying snowshoes.
I've always wanted to buy snowshoes. I always wanted to try that. I've done cross-country skiing, but I've never done the snowshoes.
Really? Yeah. Yes, I'm on board to getting the snowshoes and stuff, but I definitely would want to go back home because I can't leave Zoe home by herself, my cat.
No,
during a snowstorm.
Put her in a harness?
No, yeah, put her in a harness. But I think it would be funny to walk to Sharon's house in snowshoes, sipping a beverage.
Yes.
Just
a hot cocoa, spiked a little
spiked hot
little
cider.
Baileys. Oh, yeah. There you go.
A hot toddy.
Yeah.
Yep. I haven't had a hot toddy in a long time. I don't even remember what's in it.
It's usually I always do tea, brew some tea and then add some whiskey, flavored whiskey, the Tennessee honey is really great in a hot toddy.
Tennessee whiskey.
Tennessee whiskey?
Oh,
yeah.
Tennessee whiskey.
Tennessee whiskey. Yep. So
I will be purchasing snowshoes, but there's a lot of other things that I need to purchase beforehand.
I think you can rent them some places too.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd like to rent them for the season and then get them back.
Well, you have been on the show several times.
Yep.
But now we have an 8 o'clock time slot. You've been on a couple times since we've been on at 8, but we might have some new listeners or listeners that have forgotten your contact information or something. I don't know.
To that nature.
Why don't you reintroduce yourselves to all of our listeners?
So my name is Tracy Grady. I am part of the Grady team. My husband and I, Jim, do real estate together anywhere here on the South Shore. Actually, we pretty much much go anywhere in the state of Massachusetts. You can reach me at 617-620-8484 or at Tracy@BostonConnect.com. And Jim can be reached at 617-842-4019 or Jim@BostonConnect.com.
Yes. And your husband, Jim Grady.
Jim Grady, the other half of my team. Yep. Yeah, the other half of my team. He's the, What's our tagline should be, Tracy makes it rain and I'm the squeegee that cleans up after her.
Yeah.
Which is
so Sharon says that, she is like the helium balloon and I'm the string that like grounds her, like,
come back down.
Come back down. Come back down.
No, Tracy.
So I feel like you are the only person on the planet that I can do this with. And that is host a radio show with really no topic, no plan,
format, nothing, no format. No format.
But
you just kind of wing it the whole entire time.
You're literally the only person, and I love Sharon, but I can't do it with her. Yeah. I can't do it with anybody else. But like, I wasn't even stressed. Yeah, I told Julia yesterday, who does our agendas and stuff. I was like, "Oh, Tracy's on tomorrow. We don't really have a topic. Just you don't even have to do an agenda. Nope. Just do a couple bullets, and here's a couple things that we can talk about."
Yep.
Like, I don't know. We'll just wing it. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, you don't need to be stressed because I'm not stressed.
We always look at the clock at the end like, I cannot believe it. We just talked for an hour and had no format whatsoever. We just be able to ramble on and on about things, topics. Not necessarily everything is real estate.
Yeah.
Sometimes we digress.
My mom just texted me, you guys could pull a word out of a hat and come up with a whole show. That is
that
true.
Might be an idea. We should have people put suggestions in on a word, and then we could do the whole show around a word.
Yeah. We honestly could. I mean, well.
Yeah.
We are live on Facebook, so if you see us, hello,
Facebook people.
Hello, Facebook. So
you can join on that are up at 8 o'clock as well.
Yeah, all you crazy cats. We are live on Facebook, so if you want to join in on that discussion, whatever it may be.
We're not quite sure
for the
yet,
next 45 minutes. Yep. But you did come up with a little something.
I came up with a little something brushing my teeth this morning. I was like,
brushing your teeth. I do brush my teeth in the morning. I know I said that I just rolled out of bed and took a shower, but I do brush my teeth.
But,
the other thing is you can call into the studio. So if you really want to talk to us, 781-837-4900. Tim is anxiously waiting for your phone call to, pipe you in over here.
That's right. Send them in. Send them along.
Send them along.
You're brave enough to call in. You're a brave soul.
Yeah. Okay, so you do have sort of a little topic
I thought we'd spend a little bit of time talking about buyers and sellers and what to expect when you are thinking about buying a home or selling your home. So I thought we'd start with the buy side, like when we take on a new client or a client reaches out to us, kind of what you should expect in the process.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thought process.
Yeah.
When people come to us, it's kind of a broad stroke when you start out because you're not quite sure where you might want to live. You're like in a price category. And then you start looking at homes and you start whittling down like, no, I don't like this style home, or I really do like this style home, or I really would like a retreat lot, or I want a little more land or a little less land. Do I want to live in a condo? So you start out kind of on a broad stroke, and then as you start looking, it gets smaller and smaller until we kind of hone down what you actually want to do.
Yeah.
So normally on our first visit, we kind of get to know each other with a new buyer and see, sometimes, it doesn't always work out. You meet people and you think you're going to get along great, and then it's not always a guarantee that you're going to love the person that you're working with. So, either way.
Before they meet you, are they already pre-approved, or are you sort of introducing them to a loan officer as well?
It can go both ways. Sometimes people, like real estate agents, sometimes people have a mortgage person that they've always dealt with, or I have one in the family. My uncle's a mortgage broker, my best friend's father's a mortgage broker. So, but we usually ask them if they are already pre-approved, because you don't want people setting their expectations too high.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be thinking that they're in a $700,000 category when they're actually in like a $425,000 category.
Yeah.
Because then that broad stroke comes down really quickly as to what you can and can't look at.
Well, I know this from personal experience, is like when I first had my conversation with Jasmine about getting pre-approved, I was at a certain number, but then every single offer that I put in, so 8 offers over the past past year and a half.
This has been a journey.
It has been sort of different what my budget is because of the interest rates. And it's only really because I was in constant contact with Jasmine and her team at Maritime Mortgage that, I always knew, okay, this is how much I can afford for this house. But I wasn't discouraged because even though it would like fluctuate, like, okay, now like this would really be your max at like a comfortable, because she always knew that where I was comfort wise for payment afterwards. It sort of fluctuated throughout my 8 offers of like really what I could afford because of the interest rate. But I had such a great relationship, and I do have a great relationship with Jasmine and her team that like I could just be like at Maritime Mortgage, and then I would just be like, hey, X amount of dollars, question mark. And she's like, yeah,
that works.
And then she's like, wow, you are learning from me. I'm like, I'm learning from the best. That's sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and definitely with the interest rates changing. I mean, what you could afford 2 years ago when the interest rates were 2% and 3%, you had this huge bubble of money, and now everything's kind of come down to more of a realistic perspective where the interest rate is gone up. It's not astronomically high. I think people get into that false sense of the interest rate is so high, and it's like, I'm pretty sure we bought our house at double digits. So, we're still in the single digits, and it's probably a more realistic interest rate than 2 or 3%, which I won't go into the whole Vegas thing all over again. But if you were lucky enough to hit for 2 and 3%, good for you. If you refinance at 2 and 3%, you hit big in Vegas.
Yeah.
But I do feel there were maybe a few people that put $100,000 extra into a bid on a home because money was cheap at 2 and 3%.
You gave me money to gamble in Vegas.
I did. Yeah.
I said, here you go.
There you go. Teresa gave me $10.
Yeah.
Put it on certain number. Yeah. Let's go.
I lost, but
I didn't win.
It was still a good, maybe it like started my like, this is going to be your year.
This is going to be the year. And it has been your year.
It's been
for sure.
Yeah, I'm ending the year on a very high note.
Super high
and I'm
note,
very grateful.
Yeah. It was a long year getting there.
It's a total 180 in all aspects of my life from the beginning of this year. So, I've had a good end of the year.
It's been a good end of the year.
Good end of the year.
It's been a good fourth quarter for you.
Yes, wonderful fourth quarter for Melissa.
Yep.
I mean, it's so important to not be frustrated with like, okay, now I can afford this, now I can afford this, now I can afford it, because it's really based on the interest rates. Like because they're, and if you can see me on Facebook, I am waving my hands like this, like I'm hulaing. That like they are fluctuating, and you just sort of go along for the journey.
Yep.
But if you have a trusted real estate agent, like the Grady team,
and all of us here at Boston Connect Real Estate,
they'll ease your mind.
Yep.
And they'll find you the best house.
We really will. And it all works out. And I know people say this, and sometimes I really want to just, cuff them upside the head.
Jim Grady's watching.
Oh, hey, Jim. I think Taylor might be listening down in Nashville. Good morning, Nashville.
Good morning, Nashville. We're having a great time.
I just knew this was going to be super fun today. We're just both having a great time here today.
Yeah, we are.
Buyers, what we're talking about. See, we digress and then we lose track of what we're talking about.
Yeah, buyers.
But we're talking about new buyers. So we're talking about new buyers. So when we meet our buyers for the first time, we sit down, we get to know each other a little bit, and then, yes, we obviously talk about it's really important for you to be pre-approved, because you really should not be going into a situation where you absolutely love a home and you want to put in an offer and then all of a sudden you're scurrying around. You really should have your ducks in a row before you. And we sold a house recently that had ducks in a row. Yeah,
a lot of ducks.
There were a lot of ducks in that.
I liked that house.
It was a really cute house.
I really wish it was in my budget.
And it had beams up over the beautiful cathedral family room, and they had wooden ducks. And all of a sudden, Melissa looks up and she's like, well, all their ducks are in a row. And I'm like, I'm putting that in my listing. That's going to be my tagline. This one has all its ducks in a row.
Yeah.
But you need to be prepared when you're going into the market and looking. So what I usually do for people is, number one, your real estate agent, the first time that they meet you, should have you sign a form. It's called the Mandatory Relationships Form. It's a form that you should be signing at your first initial meeting with your real estate agent. It is not a contract, people. It is just
it says
something.
it right on there. And I highlight it for Mary and Sharon.
Yep. It is not a contract. It just says that you understand that if you're speaking with the Grady team and we're talking about real estate, that you are aware that you are talking to us about real estate. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It just says that you are not being dragged into some type of a scam that all of a sudden you find yourself signing paperwork and you now own 3 homes, like it was down in like back in 2008 when people were signing
for the right
properties.
price.
Yeah, for the right price, you can own 3 homes, and you don't realize you're signing. You don't realize you're buying 3 homes. So that the mandatory relationship form, if your real estate agent isn't whipping it out at your first sit-down meeting, then you got a problem.
Yeah,
So
it amazes
it's one of the big
me.
things here.
Yeah, it amazes me the amount of times I've heard in the past, I don't know, almost 9-10 years, like of clients saying, "Oh, I've never seen that form before."
I've never seen that.
And they've sold houses before. They've bought houses before. They've had realtors, which you should get, multiple people through your house to give you an analysis, and, see who is the best fit for you. But, when you walk in as an agent, you might be the 3rd agent in, and you're the first person to give this form.
And they're looking at you like, nobody else made me sign this. Now you're kind of looking like they're like, are you sure this isn't a contract?
And
But why do you want us to sign
it says
something?
this is not a contract. This is a mandatory Massachusetts.
You don't even have to sign it.
Yeah,
There's actually
you
a
don't have
box.
to sign it.
There is actually a box you can click off that says, I don't want to sign this. I'm not signing. Some people don't like to sign anything until they're absolutely, and that gets it. But you have to be able to look at the form, and what it is just saying that I am coming here to talk to you, to represent you as a buyer's agent or as a seller's agent.
Yeah.
Click that off. Here's my information. Here's Boston Connect's information, and they sign.
Yeah.
Or check the box that says, I'm not comfortable signing anything. I'm checking the box that says I'm not signing it, but I did see the form.
Yeah.
That's all we need to see.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're out there and you're
Keep
getting
that
a
in
buyer's
mind.
agent.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be out looking at properties until you
Yeah.
sign or at least acknowledge that you've seen that form.
Even if somebody comes into the office and like nobody's here, if it's just Julia and I and like the whole world has stopped, somebody happens to
Time has
walk
stood
in,
still.
I'll bring one down just in case, like, because sometimes people walk in, they want to talk to somebody right away. I am a non-competing manager. I don't search for business for myself. If anything, I search for business for the company. And so if somebody were to walk in, I would talk to them, but I would also explain the mandatory licensing consumer relationship, whatever.
So that's kind of first.
And then
you
go
can
from there, because then I can be like, okay, well, so
Now we can talk.
now we can talk, and and then connect you with the right agent.
Yep, exactly.
Because again, I'm not selling.
Yeah, you're not selling.
I'm not selling.
You're buying.
I'm non-competing out there. Okay,
She's a buyer.
I'm a buyer.
She is a buyer.
And I think that was super important at the time of me buying too, because like I did not want my DNA on anything that like just anything. I didn't want my DNA on anything. I was like, nope,
Nope.
I'm a buyer here. I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer.
La 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 la. I cannot hear you.
I'm a buyer. So, but my journey is over.
Your journey is over. But there are new buyers out there that their journey is not over yet, and it's just starting. So, and then from there, we kind of talk. We try to narrow down communities. If you're not quite sure where you want to live or where you don't want to live, we pick 4 or 5 communities that are your top picks, and maybe a couple of surrounding towns a little further out of where you think you might want to live, just because you might get a better deal a little further out. And then what I usually do is I pop them up on MLS, which is super fun if anybody is not up on MLS.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like I have more people who are like, I love getting your email in the morning with all the new properties. I sit with my cup of coffee. I go through, because it becomes now in this interactive age of, the internet and everything, it's almost the buyer's responsibility. So what I always say to them is, I look at, and I mean Jim, looks at MLS every morning for all of our clients and goes in every morning and sees if there's something there that we think that they should look at. And then we'll pick a property and send them an email that says, hey, we think you should look at this. And more times than not, the buyer is also getting up in the morning with their cup of coffee and going through the list, and they're like, I would like to see.
They should just meet Jim somewhere.
Yeah, they should just meet, really, they should just meet Jim
for
somewhere.
coffee every single morning.
Yeah, they should just all sit down for coffee together and have a little conference call, because they're all looking at the same properties.
Yeah.
And then we'll sometimes get an email or a call from our clients who are like, we'd like to see these 3 properties. So it's, we're all working together to try to get them into, into a good property. And then we usually set up a time. And in this kind of crazy market that it is right now, where the inventory is still low, so explain this to me. The inventory is still on the low side, interest rates are still on the high side, and there are still houses going for over ask.
Yeah.
And, you really got to get them in as soon as you possibly can get them in.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not as easy. You try to get them, they'll call you that day and like, can we see it this afternoon? And you'll call the agent and they're like, no, we're not doing any showings till the open house this weekend. And then you kind of put your schedule together for Saturday, try to get out to all those homes or Sunday.
Yeah.
And then come together and say, okay, we're going to make an offer on anything.
Yeah.
And most of those offers are due by noon or 5 o'clock on Monday morning. So it's a hustle. Yeah.
I'm actually going to do like a timeline of my whole journey the past year and a half of very much like that. Like, I had to get my offer in at this point. I only saw it for 10 minutes beforehand. Yeah. I only got,
You've
I'm
got
going to
5
go
minutes
through
to make
that
a decision
and just
if you'd
let
like to spend
everybody know
$500,000.
like how that felt as a buyer, because I've been pretty vocal on the show about like, if you're holding all showings until your 1 or 2 hour open house and then your offers are due at 12 o'clock the next day, that's anxiety ridden, because now I'm thinking, now I have to be available because, and let's be honest, I work 7 days a week.
Yes,
and
you do.
yes, it's a first world problem, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I'm not relying on anybody else, I have to work 7 days a week and in order to buy a house. So, to have those 2 hours available to go see a house that I know that 50 plus other people are going to be
Or you
at.
walk in the door and there's 20 people already at the house. This house is going to go over ask.
Discouraging.
Oh, yeah.
It is discouraging. I promise you.
Yep, I agree.
So stop doing it.
Yeah, so stop, please.
Just stop. I'm begging.
And we're going to jump again because we're going to go into, I think we should go into sellers in the next part of the show.
Yeah,
but
when we get back from the break.
Yeah, but sellers, I feel like if you're ready to sell, you need to make your home available to buyers the minute it goes on the market.
Yeah.
I think holding all showings till the weekend, it's, let's try to get people, and I understand that you can't always be that. The
Everybody
seller's
has
schedule,
a little different living.
seller's
whatever,
schedule
that's
could
fine.
just be that tight. Small children, trying to get pets out of the house, things to that nature. But when you're putting your house on the market, you kind of have to think about these things in advance. Like, what am I going to do with my pets? Where are the kids and I going to go? If we get a last minute showing, is there a playground around that we can go to? Can I do my little bit of grocery shopping? Maybe go get an ice cream, something of that nature, so that it's not this stressful. Pack it up, kids. We got to get in the car. We got to get out.
Yeah.
Or sit across the street and wait for people to come up.
Yeah. Well, I get it. There are still
It's
people
hard.
that work from home, and so it's tough. And I usually can sort of figure out what the dynamic is when I'm seeing a house for myself, because if they got the whole set up, you work from home, or if it's a weird time where you can go see the house, it's it's hard for them to get out, which I have sympathy for it. Don't get me wrong. But when
you're
buyers are
sell,
getting discouraged, it's a bummer.
Yeah,
it really is a bummer. You know, but
and making a $500,000 decision in a 5-minute time frame is. It's stressful.
Yeah.
That's really, you really cannot expect somebody to I'm going to make an offer and I'm going to go, 20 grand
wild.
over
It's wild
in a 5-minute showing.
Yeah, it's wild when you see a house once and you make a decision like that.
You're like, God, I hope I loved that as much as I thought I did when I was in there. So I almost feel like real buyers kind of need that 2 showing. I want to go back with my mom and dad. I want to go back with my kids. I came in and looked at it. Now I want to go back. I need that one more quick
all of
in.
my showings, any house that I've actually been really interested in, Mark McNamara has come.
Well, yeah.
Mark McNamara has come. Sharon McNamara has come.
A lot of the times, all of us have seen the houses.
Matt Mahoney, you guys have all seen the houses. You put in an offer on the house that I am purchasing for one of your clients. And Matt Mahoney has seen my houses. Kristen Howlett has seen my houses. Mary, of course. Everybody's hey, how can we get this all done? But with my house, everybody on the planet was putting in an offer. So I only had Mark McNamara to talk to because he wasn't representing a buyer.
He wasn't representing anybody. What did you think of it? I can't talk to you.
Yeah. So I called him. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? He's like, you know what? Go for it, kid. We'll be there. We'll be there once, it closes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we are.
We're closing.
We're closing next week. It is about halfway through our show, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. Thanks, Tim.
Let's face it, we all get to the point in our lives when our current home no longer suits our everyday needs. With ever-changing living dynamics, addressing your future is all about right-sizing. You know, finding the right-size home for you right now. Is your current living space too small? Are you looking for more room to grow? Do you find yourself making continuous home improvements to fit your current lifestyle needs? Let us help you find the right size for you right now. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Let's face it, we all get to the point in our lives when our current home no longer suits our everyday needs. With ever-changing living dynamics, addressing your future is all about right-sizing. You know, finding the right size home for you right now. Are you ready to pay your own mortgage rather than somebody else's? Are you looking forward to living under your own roof? Do you often dream about buying your first home, but you're not sure where to begin? Let us help you find the right size for you right now. I'm Sharon McNamara, the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000.
We now return to Talk Real Estate, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services on 95.9 WATD.
And we are back. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace. I'm joined by Tracy Grady.
Good morning.
And we're winging it.
It's a winging it Saturday morning.
It's a winging it Saturday morning. If you do want to join in on the discussion, you can call us at the studio, 781-837-4900. What is this? What music is this?
Oh, come on. You know what this is. You've got a Grady in the studio.
The Brady Bunch song.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
I don't know. That was before me.
No excuses, Melissa. No your TV history. Come on.
Our boss at our other job said something about, like, she did a song. She sang a song about bears, like go Bears, go, like it was like a cheerleading thing.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "Where's that from?" And I was like, "What?" And our friend Karen was like, said some show, whatever. And then I was like, "Is that the Brady Bunch?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "Never seen it."
It's
like,
great.
but you know the song.
And I watched it when it was new.
There you go.
I was waiting for new episodes.
When it was in the prime. Yeah.
Like when they went to Hawaii. Oh my God.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
watch that one like 100 times, and they found the statue, the tiki statue that was cursing them, and they had to get it back.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
There's even, after the TV series went off the air, Melissa, there's a couple of movies, too.
Oh God, those are funny.
Yeah.
And they're great spoof.
Yeah, they are. They're really good.
Like the people that they got to play the parts of all of them
spot on.
were spot
Really?
spot on, dead on.
Yeah.
It was
You
hilarious.
forget you're not watching Florence Henderson and the rest of them.
Yes.
The costumes, the makeup,
Alice.
the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Alice she's terrific too. Oh my
She's
gosh.
great too.
Yeah.
And the house house itself is so mid-century
Yeah.
modern,
Oh.
and it's like the big huge brick fireplace with like planters inside the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then of course the horse statue, which is what the whole spoof is about, is that this stupid horse statue that is in every single episode of the Brady Bunch, has just been there forever, is apparently
Kind of like the dog statue in Friends.
yes.
Oh,
except-
okay.
It's like
Yeah.
the Greyhound. Isn't it a Greyhound
Yes.
or something?
Yep. Yes. Except
That's the only reference I have.
It's never. Yes, it would be similar to that. It's never really part of the show, but in the spoof, it's apparently this like multi-million dollar statue that's been sitting in this.
Really?
Yeah, that becomes part of it. Somebody comes back to get it.
My
So
mom's
it's
texting
hilarious.
me, best episode ever, Hawaii. And then she goes, also when they went to the amusement park and lost their dad's blueprints.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about
okay.
the blueprint one. And it was like on the ride. They left the tube.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
And Jim will appreciate that because Jim's dad used to do blueprints back in the day when you did blueprints, which was a thing. Yeah, that was a real thing.
Yeah, no PDFs or tablets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
just the blueprints. Yeah.
Good old blueprints.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
my
good for
goodness.
them. I'll have to go back and watch those.
Yeah.
Oh, you
and,
have
and of
to
course,
watch
between the
Hawaii.
movies and all the episodes, at the end of every episode, of course, there's always that wholesome Brady Bunch family message
Yeah,
or some life lesson.
Life
Yeah.
lesson learned,
Yep.
like, don't be like, oh, my nose.
Right.
Your mother's gonna text right now. She's gonna be like, "Oh, I loved that episode. Oh, my nose." Marsha gets hit in the face with the football.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. That's right.
I know that. Okay.
All right, moving on.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I could talk Brady Bunch.
Yep.
We could talk Brady Bunch for an hour.
You could find a new house for the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, Partridge Family, Brady Bunch.
That house got sold, actually. Where they, at least the one you saw at the beginning of the episodes recently.
Yes. Yeah. Didn't they remodel it? Didn't they do? There was
I think
so. It was on HGTV. They actually went in and redid the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think Marsha was part of it. Maureen McCormick.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Marsha.
Well, good for them. Well, I'm glad they figured that out.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. And we digress.
I do want to say we did mention it on Tuesday for our show because Ginny Wandell, who's a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, did the show with me Tuesday night. And we talked about this. So the Patriot Ledger does this thing. It's the 2013. Oh my God, what year is it?
What happens at 8:36 in the morning?
2013.
Here, honey,
no way.
You need 2023.
I need more coffee. 2023. The official Community Choice Award. There are agents, real estate agents that are nominated for this, and then people vote. And Ginny Wandell was the #1 South Shore realtor.
Congratulations, Ginny.
In the year 2023, not to be confused with 2013, although she was selling real estate 10 years ago. And then Boston Connect Real Estate won top real estate agency on the South Shore. So,
yes.
Woo, woo.
Good for us.
Good for us. Good for Ginny. And congratulations, Ginny. Woo. Here's claps.
Sound effects. Add that to my list. Hold on. Add that to my
and
list.
once again, it is 2023.
It is 2023 if you're waking up this morning. It is not 2013.
My mother, don't forget George Glass, Jan's fake boyfriend.
George Glass.
Oh my God. You have started. Did you ever watch Little House on the Prairie?
No, that was
my mother did.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
she rewatched it a couple of years ago, and that's all I would get text messages about. I'm like, I finally had to be like, stop texting me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Please leave me alone.
Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, no, never get. No, a little bit, but not. No.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Mom. You're alone on that one. So we talked about anything else with buyers before we move on to sellers.
Let's see, buyers. No, we're just, happy, love when we get there. Actually, I'd like to give a little shout out to Matt and Maggie. Matt and Maggie just got married.
Oh, Matt and Maggie got married.
Bought a new house. I know, and bought a new house. I'm giving a little shout out to Matt and Maggie because they got married, I think, a couple of weeks ago now, and I saw the pictures. And
Matt and Maggie got married a couple weeks ago.
Yep, and we actually got Matt and Maggie from here at the office. They had called in.
Yes.
Yep, they were an office referral, and we worked with that. They were just a joy to work. Just like you just hit it off with people.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys connected.
It was like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and it was because you were here in the office, when they called and everything, and it just match made in music heaven.
Yes, match made in music heaven.
Yes.
As we all know, my daughter lives down in Nashville. Hey, Taylor, if you're listening
Hello,
still.
Nashville.
It's 7 o'clock down there. I'm highly doubting that girl is listening.
She commented on your Facebook post.
She said, okay, that doesn't mean she didn't roll over and go back to sleep. And I wouldn't blame her. But yeah, she works down in the music industry down in Nashville. And then we met Matt and Maggie, and we found out that Maggie was a lead singer for a band called Copilot.
Woohoo!
And I highly recommend downloading some of their music. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they are just the cutest couple, bought the most adorable house here in Pembroke, and a big congratulations to them on getting married.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Matt and Maggie got married.
Matt and Maggie got married.
Woo.
So, yeah. So buyer clients, we tend to be very friendly with our buyer clients after we get we stay in touch. Yeah, we stay in touch with our clients. And we usually end up, making a nice friendship with it. So
yeah, I love that. I love
buyers
that you
are
guys
great.
Connected.
And then sellers, less sellers. So same thing.
Sellers.
So it's just going to kind of flip it around. And
I'm in your house all the time.
Yep. So we're, first meeting with sellers, you need to sign the mandatory relationship form.
Yes.
Just saying, I'm talking to you about selling your home and that we would like to represent you as your seller agent as opposed to your buyer agent. So again, you don't want to sign the form, don't sign the form, but you click the box that says, I don't want to sign this form.
I don't want to sign this form.
And
that's
off
okay.
we go.
Yeah.
And then off we go. So don't usually people usually walk through the front doors of real estate. What do you think I can get for my house?
Yeah.
And I really don't like to do that. And
sometimes it's even on the phone.
I was just going to say the exact
what can
same
you do
thing.
for me?
Yeah. What do you think my house is worth? Well, I'm sitting here in my house on the phone with you. I haven't seen your house. So it's going to be a little tough for me to get, I don't want to throw a number off the top and then, come back. So we usually like to go out, do a nice walkthrough, talk to you about your house, take some notes, then go back and put together a presentation, a comparative market analysis for other homes that have sold in the past 6 months that are similar to your home, where it's located, what it looks like, what style home it is, what condition it's in, and then try to come up with, then using the comps of the past 6 months, houses, we can usually come up with a really good, narrow it down to a price point as to what we think we can get, a number that we think we can use that might sell quickly. If you really, we just really want to sell our house, we're ready to move to Florida, let's put it on the market, let's make it competitive. And that's usually when you start getting your multi-bid offers if you're on the lower side. If you just, I want to get the most I possibly can.
Because you give a range.
We usually give a range.
Yeah. And ultimately it's the seller's decision what to put the house on the market, but your job is to give them a range of what you believe the market value is.
Yep. And that's after taking time to walk through. But usually people they really want to know what you think what we think we can get for their home and get it ready to go on the market. And then we usually do walk through, and we're usually pretty critical about the house. And it doesn't mean that we don't think your house is lovely or we don't think that you take a great job in, keeping your house neat and clean. But there's a difference between living in your home and selling your home.
Yeah.
Some things need to be, you need to declutter is a big word that everybody uses. You need to declutter, depersonalize. You kind of want to leave enough furniture so that people can picture what their furniture would look like, but you don't want to overwhelm them with a lot to look at.
Yeah. A
lot of tchotchkes and things of that nature. Countertops really need to be cleaned off. Personal pictures really need to be taken down. And then we'll go through and be like, this is another one that's really tough to say to people, but you might need a deep clean in your house. And that doesn't mean that we think that your house is not clean.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to say that to somebody that, you're looking around and you're like, places that you don't see all the time, like behind the couches and windows that haven't been washed in a while. You really, we recommend getting a deep cleaning company to come in and just do a once over for you.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And it, again, doesn't mean my house, oh my God, no, it's just, I would need a deep clean. There's just spots that you just don't get to all the time. And now that the kids aren't there, you've got a big house, and this is what a lot of people are facing now, is that you've got this big house.
Yeah.
I don't really need all these rooms anymore. I want to put my house on the market and downsize, and those rooms don't always get the...
How many times have you heard, are you selling your house ever since your kids left? Oh. Because your house is your big house.
It's a big house.
Big house for two people.
It's a lot.
But now you've made money. Yeah,
and Edna has her own bedroom, for God's sake, so that still leaves us 2 rooms.
Now you've made improvements to your home to age in place.
Yes.
And but if someone came by and was like, I'll give you $5 billion, you'd be like, sign me up.
Pack it up, Jim, let's get a pod.
Where's your agency disclosure?
Let me get an agency disclosure form right out of my backside. Here you go. Yep. So, we made some improvements to our house. New kitchen. We did add a pool. Fence, a beautiful deck on the back. So we are planning on hoping to go someday down to Nashville to be closer to our kids somewhere, or DC, whatever.
Yeah. Don't forget you got another one in DC.
I got another one in DC. Yeah. He's coming home this week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's coming home.
Oh.
So when that time comes, we think we've put the money where we think we will get the most back for our house.
Yeah.
So, kitchens, and people aren't lying, baby. Kitchens and bathrooms do sell houses because those are things that people know they're going to spend the most amount of money on. And if they're already done for them, then their price is going to be a little higher. If they're thinking they're redoing it, their price is going to be a little... Buyers are going to think, I need to put $20,000 aside because I need to replace 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Or I need to put $40,000 aside because I want to blow out this kitchen and put in the kitchen of my dreams.
Yeah.
So it does make the difference. Hardwood floors are another one. You're going to do your hardwood floors.
Yes.
So, you're going to do your hardwood floors when you move in. I sometimes recommend, it depends on what condition the floors are in. If I think that it's worth your money to do the hardwood floors, that you'll get money back.
Yeah.
Or when the people move in, I always think it's better to have the buyer do the hardwood floors, because when you start moving all your stuff out, it's inevitable. Big appliances or things that are going to move across the floor is going to maybe do some damage.
Yeah,
but, so.
I'm and it's amazing what, like, it's gonna, like, my house, for example, will feel like a different house after, because I'm having it painted and doing the floors over. There's one room that has carpet, so I'm replacing the carpet, but everything else is hardwood, and having them refinished, and it's gonna feel like, my new house.
Yeah. Absolutely. Are you doing your woodwork too? Are you
the trim?
Yes.
No, I'm leaving it for now because they're the wood paneled room.
Yep.
I'm leaving that for now, so I'm gonna tie that in. But I didn't want to make a rash decision to paint it, because it's something that either I can have the painter come back and do eventually, or I can do it myself. The wood trim.
Have a Jim Grady come in.
I can have a Jim Grady come in, but
some woodwork.
I like
He does great woodwork.
I like the look of the wood. I like a darker wood and stuff like that. So I'm gonna live with it for a little while and then make my decision later.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm just doing the walls, the cabinets in the kitchen, taking down ceilings, taking down. There's a chair rail in the kitchen.
I need Jim rolling over. Like, she better be doing those ceilings.
Yes,
that's
doing
like one
the
of his
ceilings.
pet peeves. He's like, do your ceilings. If you're going to paint a room, do the ceiling, because
doing
it
the
makes
ceilings.
a big difference.
There's just some little things that I'm doing. The painting the cabinets, and changing out all the hardware. There's a chair rail. I'm taking that down. There's like a brick wall type thing. It's not real, but
that's right. It's
around the slider. I'm having that painted just to bring some texture into that room. I'm leaving the wood trim for now. Everyone's like, "Oh, are you painting it white?" And I was like, I also think that it brings character. And I like character. I like something that's a little bit different.
Yep.
And, so I'll live with it for a little bit.
Woodwork is a commitment. Yeah. Because it's, you don't do oil-based paint anymore. They have a new paint. But you need to use the right paint for woodwork.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And I realized that going up the stairs, it's all panels. So you could just take the panels down right there if you wanted to, because it'll be a little dark in the foyer. But honestly, it was so hard picking a paint color. My gosh. I did 7 swatches. I painted 7 swatches myself. And I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going with. But yeah, it's amazing, like the little things that will make a big difference, and from personal experience, I'm glad I'm doing it myself, because it's mine. Yep. Like, I'm doing it the way that I wanted to do it.
Yep. You're making it your own.
If I'm doing I'm having the floors, they're red oak, I'm having them sanded and then poly. I'm not doing a stain.
Our floors are red oak as well.
So if somebody came in, like if the seller decided that they wanted to do the floors and they did a stain, and or they were like too light or yellow, then like that would have changed the way that I felt in the house. Like, as weird as that sounds, it's like, it's not really my style.
I didn't really pick that.
It's not really my thing.
But you don't want to do them over again either, because they would just done. So
So some things are there. It's fine to leave to the buyers, because there's a lot of buyers out there like me where, like, we want to put our own touches on it.
Carpet's another big one. Don't replace your carpet, even if it's not, even if it just, vacuum it, try to make it look as bright as possible, because almost every buyer that comes into your house is going to replace your carpet. They're not going to believe that you replaced it anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's just something about carpet that people don't like.
I'm
carpet.
putting it, there's one room that has carpet. I'm putting it in a room that has a slider. So now in my head, I have to decide, am I going to be using that slider a lot? Because if so, that's going to be a high traffic area. I'm fortunate enough that on the other side of the slider, there's also a door in the kitchen. So, like, I will probably use the door in the kitchen more than I will use the slider. I'll probably use the slider more as like a window. So I don't have to have like a high traffic, carpet in there, because that's going to be my lounge.
That's Zoe's room.
That's Zoe's room. I will be putting the cat tree in there. But that's something, that again, I like. I get to have that decision.
So some things have to be left up to the buyer. So again, when we go in for people's house and they're getting ready to put it on the market, a deep clean goes a long way. Don't fix things that, if we tell you you don't need to do it, we're being honest. We're not, trying to get it for a lower, we're not trying to put it on for a lower price, because they're just things that buyers want to do themselves. What else can we talk about with sellers?
What else can we talk about
with sellers? So again, we talked about the open houses, and try to make yourself as available. Try to make your house as available as possible that you physically can do that works with your schedule, because buyers do want to get in multiple times, probably at least twice, to see it, because they don't want to share it with mom, dad, kids, whatever the case may be. And hopefully you get, not every time you're going to get a bidding war. Some houses do sit, especially in this market, for a little bit of time. But usually, you got to remember, buyers come on the market every single day. So just because somebody didn't look at it last weekend doesn't mean 5 new buyers aren't coming on the market this weekend and it's their ideal property. Yeah. So you kind of got to roll with what's going on in the market.
Yeah. It is true. You just sort of have to trust that you hired a real estate professional. And that's why it's so important to do this full time.
Yes. Yep. You need to, and I think everybody here does a great job of marketing their properties. We try to get them on social media. We print up beautiful flyers so people can take it with them, and it reminds them what the house looked like, what the details of the house are. Social media is huge right now, so open houses, try to make them as available as possible. And then usually you get the right buyer in, you get the right price, and off you go.
Off you go.
We just sold a house in Hanson. Actually, we're closing on a house in Hanson, and it took us a little while to get it. I mean, it's a unique property. It's far off the road, so it's a retreat lot. Not everybody wanted, but they're doing a fantastic job. They're packing everything up, and they're moving to Georgia. And new buyer is so excited, can't wait to get in.
You have so many clients that are like moving out of state.
We are in that downsizer age category where, people ask us all the time, like, what are you keeping that big house for? You really should sell it and downsize it. But the other point with that is that, where are you going to go? So, I mean, the house prices are high. I mean, you could sell, obviously we bought it on the low side and we're going to sell it on the higher side, but everything else is also high. So, and we're definitely not, for us, condo is not the living that we would be okay with. So that we definitely have to move to a house. And I think we're probably ready to move to a different part of check out a different part of the country.
Yeah.
Which is what I feel like a lot of people are doing these days. And a lot of people's kids have moved out of state.
Yeah.
And they want to follow their kids. Like if Taylor and Duran decide to have kids somewhere down the line, I'm going to want to be there. Jim and I are going to want to be there with them. So
you got to bring Jim too.
Yeah, I got to bring Jim.
And Edna.
So I'm going to Nashville.
I'm going to Nashville. You can stay here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's true, and plus, like I said, you've had a lot of clients move out of state like recently, and it's just where you're at in your life, like whether you're moving locally or out of state, it is so important to have a full-time realtor. Looking for you,
trying to help you, and that's enough. And then when you sell the house, and let's say you want to stay up here, that's another whole act in itself. Of you need to be an active buyer as well as you're being an active seller, so that you find something that you can move into, so that you can get out and move to your new place and be comfortable and have the time. Time schedules get really tight between seller and buyer. When you're selling your home and buying something locally, you gotta.
Yeah. Well, with mine, I got a clear to close a week early. And we were like, oh, you want to close early? And the seller decided to keep the same closing date, in which I totally respect, because it was her house since 1964.
Yeah.
So I never want to rush anybody out just because I'm ready. You gotta take the time to say goodbye.
Yes,
and
you absolutely
when you
do.
raise a family and have a home with your husband, it's just I totally get it. Memories upon memories.
Yep.
And like I said, everybody has a different journey, whether they're moving locally or out of state and stuff. But
yep. So and that's why you need a professional real estate agent, because they kind of take that burden off of you. They handle the scheduling and they keep you informed as to where we're at with everything, mortgages, making sure paperwork gets signed, making sure final water readings get done, fire inspections get done. Oil in the tank is, trying to figure that all out. That's really the responsibility of keeping a task list is your real estate agent. So you want somebody that's going to be looking out for you.
Yeah. Looking out for you. I don't know. I just came up with that. That's my little jingle.
That's a little ditty.
Looking out for you.
Little ditty.
Little ditty. I love that song.
I know. That's one of
makes
my...
me happy.
Yep.
Okay, wrapping up this, because I do have a couple open houses to be talking about, and I want to give you the opportunity to give your contact information out again to everybody. Final thoughts, last minute things that you want to talk about, whether it's buyers, sellers, anything with the real estate. What's going on with you? How are you?
I'm great. Everything's just great. It's great. Melissa and I are so lucky we get to work together at a local restaurant here in Pembroke. Can we say that name? Or is that
Yeah, we work at Christina's.
We work at Christina's in Pembroke.
Yeah, so come on by and say hi to us.
Come on by.
It's
prime rib night.
Yeah, prime rib. Yeah, we're working tonight. I work there on the weekends, and Tracy does a couple nights during the week. So we just love being around each other. Apparently,
we're in each other's back
Tracy
pocket.
got me the job there 3 years ago. I was only going to be there for a couple months, so, one shift a week, and here I am 3 years later, and I got 3 shifts, and I'm picking up all the functions, holidays, everything, and it's great. I love working there. You love working there.
And we're going to be together tonight. We're both going to be there tonight, so you can come in and say hi.
Yeah, come say hi. I do have a couple people who know that I work there that listen to the show, and they've come in and they've been like, "Who did you have on? So and so, like, the mold guy, this person," and I give their contact information. They've like, "The plumber." I'm like, "That's Mark McNamara."
That's Mark McNamara. Who's the plumber?
Who's the plumber? I've given Mark's number out, everything, and also somebody once asked, "Who made the sign on your truck?" I'm like, oh, well, let me text Mark McNamara and see who made the sign. So, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Are we going to go through the list of open houses, or you just want my final thoughts?
I want your final thoughts, and then I'll do the open houses.
Yep. Well, my final thoughts are, please use a professional real estate agent. They'll make sure that your transactions go smoothly. We love working with buyers and sellers here at Boston Connect Real Estate. I think we pride ourselves in doing great for both.
Oh, sorry. We have a question.
Oh.
Janet on Facebook, how long do you stay with an agent if your house isn't selling?
Oh, that's an excellent. Well, we normally sign a contract for 6 months. Because by the time you get the house on the market, pending if things are changing, I don't necessarily think you have to change. You have to understand the market, and if your agent isn't there, is not another big thing. Answer your telephone calls.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves on taking our we are always available for our clients 24 hours a day. Sometimes if your house isn't selling, it's not necessarily the agent's fault. You might need to rethink your pricing. Mm-hmm. I mean, at 6 months, myself as a seller's agent, if 6 months in and your house isn't selling, then I wouldn't blame you for going to somebody else, or at least getting somebody else to come in, and maybe you're not going to renew your contract with me.
Yeah.
I'd get maybe a couple of real estate agents to come in, give you another CMA analysis, see where the market's at, and if they seem to be more proactive, I would hate to see somebody walk away, but I would not fault you for it. But we usually sign a contract for 6 months.
Well, I would also sort of evaluate why it's not selling. Yeah. So is it price? Is it location? Is it a specific type? Like, it might be an antique, and that's a specific buyer. There's so many different factors for why a house wouldn't sell. Yeah. But right now, we're not really seeing a lot of things sitting on the market.
No, not for long periods of time.
Not for long periods of time.
And at 6 months. And I would hope that your real estate agent is staying in touch with you. Like, we talk to our clients after every open house, so we're talking, so you know what we're seeing. We give feedback from whatever the buyers that are walking through are saying. Even the positives, the negatives are hard to say, but you have to, and that's why people give us feedback too, and they'll say, well, my client didn't like it because of this, and this. And we share that with the seller in hopes to make improvements, to say, okay, well, we probably need to do something about this, whether it be landscaping or a bad set of stairs or something that just really sticks out.
Wrapping up, you have an open house tomorrow.
We have an open house tomorrow at 120 Roller Coaster Road in Hanson. Jim is going to be there from 11 to 12:30. Brand new construction, beautiful colonial, 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths on a lovely, quiet side street. Please come and visit. Come and visit Jim.
Come and visit Jim.
Come and visit Jim.
Sharon and Mary have cushion trails in Hanson 10 to 12 today and tomorrow. That's every Saturday and Sunday. And they also have Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3. free. And then Donna and Nadine have a new listing, 71 Conlin Ave in Franklin. That is tomorrow from 12 to 2:30. All of our open houses are on BostonConnect.com. Listen to any of our past shows, TalkRealEstateRoundtable.com, or your podcast app, Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
I love not having a plan with you.
I know, it's so easy. And here we are at 9 o'clock. And we're like, still.
And now we're like rushing. Like, oh my gosh, we didn't get to this stuff.
I know when you asked me to tie it up, I'm like, oh, we don't have time to do
We're going to have time. Yeah, well, there we go. We had time.
We did it.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening.
Good morning.
Tim, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Tim. Bye.
WATD FM Marshfield, WBMS Brockton.